Hello everyone, and welcome back to Project Moon Audiobooks. Today, we will be starting the Odyssey by Homer, one of the most classic epic poems in Western canon. It is also the inspiration for Outis from Limbus Company. This will cover books 1 and 2 of the poem. I hope you enjoy. Book 1, The Boy and the Goddess. Tell me about a complicated man. Muse, tell me how he wandered and was lost when he had wrecked the holy town of Troy, and where he went, and who he met, the pain he suffered in the storms at sea, and how he worked to save his life and bring his men back home. He failed to keep them safe. Poor fools, they ate the sun god's cattle, and the god kept them from home. Now, goddess, child of Zeus, tell the old story for our modern times. Find the beginning. All the other Greeks who had survived the brutal sack of Troy sailed safely home to their own wives, except this man alone. Calypso, a great goddess, had trapped him in her cave. She wanted him to be her husband. When the year rolled round in which the gods decreed he should go home to Ithaca, his troubles still went on. The man was friendless. All the gods took pity, except Poseidon's anger never ended until Odysseus was back at home. But now the distant Ethiopians, who live between the sunset and the dawn, were worshipping the sea god with a feast, 100 cattle and 100 rams. There sat the god, delighting in his banquet. The other gods were gathered on Olympus, in Father Zeus's palace. He was thinking of fine, well-born Aegisthus, who was killed by Agamemnon's famous son Orestes. He told the deathless gods, "This is absurd, that mortals blame the gods. They say we cause their suffering, but they themselves increase it by folly. So Aegisthus overstepped. He took the legal wife of Agamemnon, then killed the husband when he came back home, although he knew that it would doom them all. We gods had warned Aegisthus. We sent down perceptive Hermes, who flashed into sight and told him not to murder Agamemnon or court his wife. Orestes would grow up and come back to his home to take revenge. Aegisthus would not hear that good advice, but now his death has paid all debts." Athena looked at him steadily and answered, "Father, he did deserve to die. Bring death to all who act like him. But I am agonizing about Odysseus and his bad luck. For too long he has suffered, with no friends, sea all around him, sea on every side, out on an island where a goddess lives, daughter of fearful Atlas, who holds up the pillars of the sea, and knows its depths. Those pillars keep the heaven and earth apart. His daughter holds that poor, unhappy man, and tries beguiling him with gentle words to cease all thoughts of Ithaca. But he longs to see even just the smoke that rises from his own homeland, and he wants to die. You do not even care, Olympian. Remember how he sacrificed to you on the broad plain of Troy beside his ships? So why do you dismiss Odysseus?" "Daughter," the cloud god said, "you must be joking, since how could I forget Odysseus? He is more sensible than other humans, and makes more sacrifices to the gods. But Lord Poseidon rages, unrelenting, because Odysseus destroyed the eye of godlike Polyphemus, his own son, the strongest of the Cyclopes, whose mother, Thoosa, is a sea nymph, child of Phorcys, the sea king, and she lay beside Poseidon inside a hollow cave. So now Poseidon prevents Odysseus from reaching home, but does not kill him. Come then, we must plan. How can he get back home? Poseidon must give up his anger, since he cannot fight alone against the will of all the gods." Athena's eyes lit up, and she replied, "Great father, if the blessed gods at last will let Odysseus return back home, then hurry. We must send our messenger, Hermes, the giant slayer. He must swoop down to Ogygia right away and tell the beautiful Calypso we have formed a firm decision that Odysseus has waited long enough. He must go home. And I will go to Ithaca to rouse the courage of his son, and make him call a meeting, and speak out against the suitors who kill his flocks of sheep and longhorn cattle unstoppably. Then I will send him off to Pylos and to Sparta to seek news about his father's journey home and gain a noble reputation for himself." With that, she tied her sandals on her feet, the marvelous golden sandals that she wears to travel sea and land as fast as wind. She took the heavy bronze-tipped spear she uses to tame the ranks of warriors with whom she is enraged. Then from the mountain down she sped to Ithaca and stopped outside Odysseus's court, bronze spear in hand. She looked like Mentes now, the Taphian leader, a guest friend. There she found the lordly suitors sitting on hides. They killed the cows themselves, and playing checkers. Quick, attentive house slaves were waiting on them. Some were mixing wine with water in the bowls, and others brought the tables out and wiped them off with sponges, and others carved up heaping plates of meat. Telemachus was sitting with them, feeling dejected. In his mind he saw his father coming from somewhere, scattering the suitors, and gaining back his honor and control of all his property. With this in mind, he was the first to see Athena there. He disapproved of leaving strangers stranded, so he went straight to meet her at the gate. And she shook her hand, and took her spear of bronze, and let his words fly out to her. "Good evening, stranger, and welcome. Be our guest, come share our dinner, and then tell us what you need." He led her in, and Pallas followed him. Inside the high-roofed hall, he set her spear beside a pillar in a polished stand, in which Odysseus kept stores of weapons. And then he led her to a chair, and spread a smooth embroidered cloth across the seat, and pulled a footstool up to it. He sat beside her on a chair of inlaid wood, a distance from the suitors, so their shouting would not upset the stranger during dinner, also to ask about his absent father. A girl brought washing water in a jug of gold, and poured it on their hands and into a silver bowl, and set a table by them. A deferential slave brought bread and laid a wide array of food, a generous spread. The carver set beside them plates of meat of every kind, and gave them golden cups. The cup boy kept on topping up the wine. The suitors sauntered in and sat on chairs, observing proper order, and the slaves poured water on their hands. The house girls brought baskets of bread, and heaped it up beside them, and house boys filled their wine bowls up with drink. They reached to take the good things set before them. Once they were satisfied with food and drink, the suitors turned their minds to other things, singing and dancing, glories of the feast. A slave brought out a well-tuned lyre and gave it to Phemius, the man the suitors forced to sing for them. He struck the chords to start his lovely song. Telemachus leaned in close to Athena, so they would not hear, and said, "Dear guest, excuse my saying this. These men are only interested in music, a life of ease. They make no contribution. This food belongs to someone else, a man whose white bones may be lying in the rain or sunk beneath the waves. If they saw him return to Ithaca, they would all pray for faster feet, instead of wealth and gold and fancy clothes. In fact, he must have died. We have no hope. He will not come back home. If someone says so, we do not believe it. But come now, tell me this and tell the truth. Who are you? From what city, and what parents? What kind of ship did you arrive here on? What sailors brought you here, and by what route? You surely did not travel here on foot. Here is the thing I really want to know. Have you been here before? Are you a friend who visited my father? Many men came to this house. He traveled many places." Athena's clear, bright eyes met his. She said, "Yes, I will tell you everything. I am Mentes, the son of wise Anchialus, lord of the Taphians, who love the oar. I traveled with my ship and my companions over the wine-dark sea to foreign lands, with iron that I hope to trade for copper in Temis. My ship is in the harbor far from the town, beneath the woody hill, and you and I are guest friends through our fathers, from long ago. Laertes can confirm it. I hear that fine old man no longer comes to town, but lives out in the countryside, stricken by grief, with only one old slave, who gives him food and drink when he trails back leg-weary from his orchard, rich in vines. I came because they told me that your father was here, but now it seems that gods have blocked his path back home. But I am sure that he is not yet dead. The wide sea keeps him trapped upon some island, captured by fierce men who will not let him go. Now I will make a prophecy the gods have given me, and I think it will all come true, although I am no prophet. He will not be gone much longer from his own dear native land, even if chains of iron hold him fast. He will devise a means of getting home. He is resourceful. Tell me now, are you Odysseus' son? You are so tall. Your handsome face and eyes resemble his. We often met and knew each other well, before he went to Troy, where all the best leaders of Argos sailed in hollow ships. From that time on, we have not seen each other. Telemachus was careful as he answered, Dear guests, I will be frank with you. My mother says that I am his son, but I cannot be sure, since no one knows his own begetting. I wish I were the son of someone lucky, who could grow old at home with all his wealth. Instead, the most unlucky man alive is said to be my father, since you ask. Athena looked at him with sparkling eyes. Son of Penelope, you and your sons will make a name in history, since you are so clever. But now tell me this. Who are these banqueters, and what is the occasion? A drinking party, or a wedding feast? They look so arrogant and self-indulgent, making themselves at home. A wise observer would surely disapprove of how they act. Telemachus said moodily, My friend, since you have raised the subject, there was once a time when this house here was doing well, our future bright, when he was still at home. But now the gods have changed their plans and cursed us, and cast my father into utter darkness. If he had died, it would not be this bad. If he had fallen with his friends at Troy, or in his loved one's arms, when he had wound the threads of war to end, the Greeks would then have built a tomb for him. He would have won fame for his son. But now the winds have seized him, and he is nameless and unknown. He left nothing but tears for me. I do not weep only for him. The gods have given me so many other troubles. All the chiefs of Same, Zacynthus, Dulichium, and local lords from rocky Ithaca are courting mother, wasting our whole house. She does not turn these awful suitors down, nor can she end the courting. They will keep eating, spoiling my home, and soon they will kill me. Athena said in outrage, This is monstrous! You need Odysseus to come back home and lay his hands on all those shameless suitors. If only he would come here now and stand right at the gates, with 2 spears in his hands, in shield and helmet, as when I first saw him. Odysseus was visiting our house, drinking and having fun on his way back from sailing in swift ships to Ephyra to visit Ilus. He had gone there looking for deadly poison to anoint his arrows. Ilus refused, because he feared the gods. My father gave Odysseus the poison, loving him blindly. May Odysseus come meet the suitors with that urge to kill. A bitter courtship and short life for them. But whether he comes home to take revenge or not is with the gods. You must consider how best to drive these suitors from your house. Come, listen to what I say. Tomorrow, call the Achaean chiefs to meeting, and tell the suitors, Let the gods be witness. All of you, go away, to your own homes. As for your mother, if she wants to marry, let her return to her great father's home. They will make her a wedding and prepare abundant gifts to show her father's love. Now here is some advice from me for you. Fit out a ship with 20 oars, the best, and go find out about your long-lost father. Someone may tell you news, or you may hear a voice from Zeus, best source of information. First, go to Pylos, question godlike Nestor. From there, to Sparta. Visit Menelaus. He came home last of all the Achaean heroes. If you should hear that he is still alive and coming home, put up with this abuse for 1 more year. But, if you hear that he is dead, go home and build a tomb for him, and hold a lavish funeral to show the honor he deserves, and give your mother in marriage to a man. When this is done, consider deeply how you might be able to kill the suitors in your halls, by tricks or openly. You must not stick to childhood. You are no longer just a little boy. You surely heard how everybody praised Orestes when he killed the man who killed his famous father, Devious Aegisthus. Dear boy, I see how big and tall you are. Be brave, and win yourself a lasting name. But I must go now, on my speedy ship. My friends are getting tired of waiting for me. Remember what I said, and heed my words. Telemachus was brooding on her words, and said, "Dear guest, you were so kind to give me this fatherly advice. I will remember. I know that you are eager to be off, but please enjoy a bath before you go, and take a gift with you. I want to give you a precious, pretty treasure as a keepsake to mark our special friendship." But the goddess Athena met his gaze and said, "Do not hold me back now. I must be on my way. As for the gift you feel inspired to give me, save it for when I come on my way home, and let me give you presents then as well in fair exchange." With that, the owl-eyed goddess flew away like a bird, up through the smoke. She left him feeling braver, more determined, and with his father even more in mind. Watching her go, he was amazed and saw she was a god. Then, godlike, he went off to meet the suitors. They were sitting calmly, listening to the poet, who sang how Athena cursed the journey of the Greeks as they were sailing home from Troy. Upstairs, Penelope had heard the marvelous song. She clambered down the steep steps of her house, not by herself. 2 slave girls came with her. She reached the suitors looking like a goddess, then stopped and stood beside a sturdy pillar, holding a gauzy veil before her face. Her slave girls stood, one on each side of her. In tears, she told the holy singer, "Stop, please, Phemius. You know so many songs, enchanting tales of things that gods and men have done, the deeds that singers publicize. Sing something else, and let them drink in peace. Stop this upsetting song that always breaks my heart, so I can hardly bear my grief. I miss him all the time, that man, my husband, whose story is so famous throughout Greece." Sullen Telemachus said, "Mother, no, you must not criticize the loyal bard for singing as it pleases him to sing. Poets are not to blame for how things are. Zeus is. He gives to each as is his will. Do not blame Phemius because he told about the Greek disasters. You must know the newest song is always praised the most. So steel your heart and listen to the song. Odysseus was not the only one who did not come back home again from Troy. Many were lost. Go in and do your work. Stick to the loom and distaff. Tell your slaves to do their chores as well. It is for men to talk, especially me. I am the master." That startled her. She went back to her room and took her son's uneasy words to heart. She went upstairs, along with both her slaves, and wept there for her dear Odysseus, until Athena gave her eyes sweet sleep. Throughout the shadowy hall the suitors clamored, praying to lie beside her in her bed. Telemachus inhaled, then started speaking. "You suitors, you are taking this too far. Let us enjoy the feast in peace. It is a lovely thing to listen to a bard, especially one with such a godlike voice. At dawn, let us assemble in the square. I have to tell you this. It is an order. You have to leave my halls. Go dine elsewhere. Eat your own food, or share between your houses. Or if you think it easier and better to ruin one man's wealth, and if you think that you can get away with it, go on. I call upon the gods. Zeus will grant vengeance. You will be punished and destroyed, right here." He spoke, and they began to bite their lips, shocked that Telemachus would dare to speak so boldly. But Antinous replied, "Telemachus, the gods themselves have taught you such pride, to talk so big and brash in public. May Zeus, the son of Cronus, never grant you your true inheritance, which is the throne of Ithaca." His mind alert and focused, Telemachus replied, "Antinous, you will not like this, but I have to say, I hope Zeus does give me the throne. Do you deny it is an honorable thing to be a king? It brings the household wealth and honor to the man. But there are many other great chiefs in sea-girt Ithaca, both old and young. I know that. One of them may seize the throne, now that Odysseus has died. But I shall be at least the lord of my own house, and of the slaves that he seized for my benefit." Eurymachus replied, "Telemachus, the gods must choose which of us will be king of Ithaca. But still, I hope you keep your own possessions and rule your house. May no man drive you out and seize your wealth while Ithaca survives. Now, friend, I want to ask about the stranger. Where was he from? What country? Did he say? Where is his place of birth, his native soil? Does he bring news your father will come home? Or did he come here for some other purpose? How suddenly he darted off, not waiting for us to meet him, yet he looked important." The boy said soberly, "Eurymachus, my father is not ever coming home. I do not listen now to any gossip or forecasts from the psychics whom my mother invites to visit us. The stranger was my father's guest friend Mentes, son of wise Anchialus, who rules the Taphians, the people of the Ore." Those were his words, but in his mind he knew she was a god. They danced to music and enjoyed themselves till evening, then they went back home to sleep. Telemachus's bedroom had been built above the courtyard, so it had a view. He went upstairs, preoccupied by thought. A loyal slave went with him, Euryclea, daughter of Ops. She brought the burning torches. Laertes bought her many years before when she was very young, for 20 oxen. He gave her status in the household, equal to his own wife, but never slept with her, avoiding bitter feelings in his marriage. She brought the torches now. She was the slave who loved him most, since she had cared for him when he was tiny. Entering the room, he sat down on the bed, took off his tunic, and gave it to the vigilant old woman. She smoothed it out and folded it, then hung it up on a hook beside his wooden bed, and left the room. She used the silver latch to close the door. The strap pulled tight the bolt. He slept the night there, wrapped in woolen blankets, planning the journey told him by Athena. Book 2. A Dangerous Journey. The early dawn was born, her fingers bloomed. Odysseus's well-beloved son jumped up, put on his clothes, and strapped his sword across his back, and tied his handsome sandals onto his well-oiled feet. He left the room looking just like a god. He quickly told the clear-voiced heralds they must call the Greeks to council. Soon the men, their long hair flowing, were gathered all together in the square. Telemachus arrived, bronze sword in hand. Not by himself, 2 swift dogs came with him. Athena poured a heavenly grace upon him. The elders let him join them, and he sat upon his father's throne. The first to speak was wise Aegyptius, a bent old soldier. His darling son, the spearman Antiphus, had sailed with Lord Odysseus to Troy. The Cyclops killed him in his cave and made him his final course at dinner. This old father had 3 sons left. One teamed up with the suitors, Eurynomus. The others spent their time working the farm, but still the father mourned the son whom he had lost. He spoke in tears. "People of Ithaca, now hear my words. We have not met in council since the day Odysseus departed with his ships. Who called us? Someone old or young? And why? Has he found out an army is approaching? Or does he have some other piece of news which he would like to share with all of us? I think he is a helpful, decent man. I hope that Zeus rewards his good intentions." Odysseus's loving son felt glad, and eagerly got up to speak and stood among them, in the center of the group. The competent official, named Pisanor, passed him the speaking stick. He held it up, and first addressed Aegyptius. "Here, sir. Now look no further for the man you seek. I called this meeting. I am in deep trouble. I have no information of an army that might attack us, nor do I have news of any other danger to our people. I need help for myself. My family has suffered 2 disasters. First, I lost my father, who was kind to you as if you were also his sons. Now, even worse, my house is being ripped apart. My wealth will soon be gone. The sons of all the nobles have shoved inside my house to court my mother. Against her wishes. They should go and ask Icarius, her father, to provide a dowry, and choose who should be her husband. They are too scared. Instead, they haunt our house, day after day, and kill our cows and pigs and good fat goats. They feast and drink red wine, not caring if they waste it all. There is no man to save the house. No man like him, Odysseus. I cannot fight against them. I would be useless. I have had no training. But if I had the power, I would do it. It is unbearable what they have done. They ruined my whole house. It is not fair. You suitors all should feel ashamed. Consider what others in the neighborhood will think. And also be afraid. The angry gods will turn on you in rage. They will be shocked at all this criminal behavior. I beg you, by Olympian Zeus, and by the goddess who presides in human meetings, justice! But never mind. Friends, leave me be, and let me cry and suffer by myself. Or did Odysseus, my warlike father, deliberately do harm to our own side? Is that why you seem set on hurting me, encouraging these suitors? Oh, if only you Ithacans would eat my stock yourselves. If you did that, I soon would get revenge. I would come through the town and keep demanding until it all got given back. But now, you make me so unhappy. This is pointless. He stopped, frustrated, flung the scepter down, and burst out crying. Everyone was seized by pity. No one spoke. They hesitated to answer him unkindly. Then at last Antinous began. Telemachus, you stuck-up, willful little boy! How dare you try to embarrass us and put the blame on us? We suitors have not done you wrong. Go blame your precious mother. She is cunning. It is the 3rd year, soon it will be 4, that she has cheated us of what we want. She offers hope to all, sends notes to each, but all the while her mind moves somewhere else. She came up with a special trick. She fixed a mighty loom inside the palace hall. Weaving her fine long cloth, she said to us, Young men, you are my suitors, since my husband, the brave Odysseus, is dead. I know you want to marry me. You must be patient. I have worked hard to weave this winding sheet to bury good Laertes when he dies. He gained such wealth, the women would reproach me if he were buried with no shroud. Please let me finish it. And her words made sense to us. So every day she wove the mighty cloth, and then at night, by torchlight, she unwove it. For 3 long years her trick beguiled the Greeks. But when the 4th year's seasons rolled around, a woman-slave who knew the truth told us. We caught her there, unraveling the cloth, and made her finish it. This is our answer, so you and all the Greeks may understand. Dismiss your mother. Let her father tell her to marry anyone his heart desires. Athena blessed her with intelligence, great artistry and skill, a finer mind than anyone has ever had before. Even the braided girls of ancient Greece, Tyro, Alcmene, Garland, and Mycenae, none of them had Penelope's understanding. But if she wants to go on hurting us, her plans are contrary to destiny. We suitors will keep eating up your wealth and livelihood as long as she pursues this plan the gods have put inside her heart. For her it may be glory, but for you, pure loss. We will not go back to our farms or anywhere until she picks a husband. Telemachus insisted, breathing hard. Antinous, I cannot force my mother out of the house. She gave me birth and raised me. My father is elsewhere, alive or dead. If I insist my mother has to leave, Icarius will make me pay the price, and gods will send more trouble. If she goes, mother will rouse up furies full of hate to take revenge, and everyone will curse me. I will not. If you feel upset, you go. Out of my house. Stop eating all my food. Devour each other's property, not mine. Or do you really think it right to waste one person's means of life and go scot-free? Then try it. I will call the deathless gods. May Zeus give recompense some day for this. You will die here, and nobody will care. Then Zeus, whose voice resounds around the world, sent down 2 eagles from the mountain peak. At first they hovered on the breath of wind, close by each other, balanced on their wings. Reaching the noisy middle of the crowd, they wheeled and whirred and flapped their mighty wings, swooping at each man's head with eyes like death, and with their talons ripped each face and neck. Then to the right they flew, across the town. Everyone was astonished at the sight. They wondered in their hearts what this could mean. Old Halitherses, son of Mastor, spoke. More than the other elders, this old leader excelled at prophecy and knew the birds. He gave them good advice. Now, Ithacans, listen. I speak especially for the suitors. Disaster rolls their way. Odysseus will not be absent from his friends for long. Already he is near and sows the seeds of death for all of them. and more disaster from many others in bright Ithaca. We have to form a plan to make them stop. That would be best for them as well by far. I am experienced at prophecy. My words came true for him, that mastermind Odysseus. I told him when he left for Troy with all the Argives, he would suffer most terribly, and all his men would die, but in the 20th year he would come home, unrecognized. Now it is coming true. Eurymachus, the son of Polybus, replied, "Old man, be off. Go home and spout your portents to your children, or it will be worse for them. But I can read these omens better than you can. Many birds go flying in sunlight, and not all are meaningful. Odysseus is dead, away from home. I wish that you had died with him, to stop your forecasts. You are making this boy angry, hoping that he will give your household gifts. But let me tell you this, which will come true. You may know many ancient forms of wisdom, but if you tease this boy and make him angry, he will be hurt, and never get to act on any of these prophecies of yours. And, old man, we will make you pay so much, your heart will break, your pain will cut so deep. I will advise Telemachus myself, in front of everyone, to send his mother back to her father's family, to fix her wedding, and the gifts a well-loved daughter should have. Unless he does that, we will never cease from this torturous courtship. We are not afraid of anyone, much less this boy with his long speeches, nor your pointless portents. They will not come to pass, and they will make you hated. His house will be devoured, and payback will never come, as long as she frustrates our hopes of marriage. Meanwhile, we will wait in daily hope, competing for the prize, not seeking other women as our wives." Telemachus, his mind made up, replied, "All right, Eurymachus, and all of you. I will not talk about this any more. The gods and all of you already know. Just let me have a ship and 20 men to make a journey with me, out and back, to Sparta and to sandy Pylos, seeking news about when my father may come home. I may hear it from somebody, or from a voice from Zeus. It often happens so. If I find out my father is alive and coming home, I will endure this pain for 1 more year. But if I hear that he is dead, I will come home to my own land and build a tomb and hold the funeral rites as he deserves, and I will give my mother to a new husband." He sat down, and up stood Mentor. When Odysseus sailed off, this was the friend he asked to guard his house, and told the slaves to look to him as master. Mentor addressed the crowd. "Now, Ithacans, listen, this changes everything. Now kings should never try to judge with righteousness or rule their people gently. Kings should always be cruel, since the people whom he ruled as kindly as a father have forgotten their king Odysseus. I do not blame the suitors over confidence, rough ways and violence in eating up his household. They risk their lives, supposing that the master will never come back home. But I do blame you others, sitting passive, never speaking against them, though you far outnumber them." Leocritus, Euenor's son, replied, "Mentor, for shame! You must have lost your mind. Fool, telling us to stop our banqueting. You cannot fight us. We outnumber you. Even if Ithacan Odysseus came back and found us feasting in his house and tried to drive us out, his wife would get no joy of his return, no matter how she misses him. If he tried fighting solo against us, he would die a cruel death. So what you said was nonsense. Anyway, we must disperse, and everyone get busy. Mentor and Halitherses, since you are old comrades of his father, you can guide Telemachus's journey. I suspect he will not manage to go anywhere. He will just wait in Ithaca for news." The crowd broke up. The Ithacans went home, the suitors to Odysseus's house. Telemachus slipped out, and at the beach he dipped his hands in salty gray seawater, and asked Athena, "Goddess, hear my prayer. Just yesterday you came and ordered me to sail the hazy sea and find out news of my long-absent father's journey home. The Greeks are wasting everything, especially these bullying, mean suitors." Then Athena came near him with the voice and guise of Mentor, and spoke to him with words that flew like birds. "Telemachus, you will be brave and thoughtful, if your own father's forcefulness runs through you. How capable he was, in word and deed. Your journey will succeed if you are his. If you're not his son by Penelope, I doubt you can achieve what you desire, and it is rare for sons to be like fathers. Only a few are better, most are worse. But you will be no coward and no fool. You do possess your father's cunning mind, so there is hope you will do all these things. Forget about those foolish suitors' plans. They have no brains and no morality. They do not know black doom will kill them all, and some day soon. Their death is near at hand. You will achieve the journey that you seek, since I will go with you, just like a father. I will equip a good, swift ship for you. Now go back home to where those suitors are and get provisions. Pack them in containers, some wine in jars, and grain, the strength of men, in sturdy skins. And I will go through town, calling for volunteers to come with us. There are a lot of ships in Ithaca, both new and old. I will select the best one. We will equip her quickly and sail fast, far off across the sea. So spoke the goddess, daughter of Zeus. Telemachus obeyed. His heart was troubled as he went back home. He found the arrogant suitors in the hall, skinning some goats and charring hogs for dinner. Antinous began to laugh. He called him, and seized his hand and spoke these words to him. Telemachus, you are being so pig-headed. Why not put all your troubles from your heart? Come eat and drink with me, just as before. You know the Greeks will fix it all for you. They will select a ship and crew, and soon you will reach Pylos, where you hope to hear word of your father. But the boy was wary, and said, Antinous, I cannot eat. I have no peace or joy when I am with you selfish suitors. Is it not enough that you destroyed my rich inheritance when I was just a little boy? But now I have grown bigger, and I got advice from other people, and my heart wells up with courage. I will try to bring down doom on your heads here at home or when I go to Pylos. Yes, I really will go there, as passenger, although I do not own a ship or have a crew, because of you. He snatched his hand away, but as they feasted, the suitors started mocking him and jeering. With sneers they said, Oh no! Telemachus is going to kill us. He will bring supporters from Pylos or from Sparta. He is quite determined. Or indeed he may be fetching some lethal poisons from the fertile fields of Ephyra to mix up in our wine bowl and kill us all. Another proud young man said, Well, who knows? Perhaps he will get lost in that curved ship and die, so far away from all his family, just like his father. And what a pity that would be for us. Then we would have to share out all his wealth and give away the house itself to her, his mother, and the man who marries her. The boy went downstairs to his father's storeroom, wide and high-roofed, piled high with gold and bronze and clothes and chests and fragrant olive oil. Down there the jars of vintage wine were stored, which held the sweet, unmixed and godlike drink, lined in a row against the wall, in case weary Odysseus came home at last. The double doors were locked and closely fitted. A woman checked the contents, night and day, guarding it all with great intelligence, and that was Euryclea, child of Ops. He called her to the chamber and addressed her. Nanny, please pour sweet wine in jugs for me, the second best one, not the one you keep for when the poor unlucky king escapes from evil fate and death and comes back home. Fill up 12 jugs with wine for me, and pour me some 20 pounds of fine-milled barley groats, all packed in sturdy leather bags. Load up all these provisions secretly. At nightfall, I will come here and get them, when my mother has gone upstairs to go to sleep. I am leaving for Sparta and for sandy Pylos, to learn about my father's journey home. At that his loving nurse began to wail, and sobbed, Sweet child, what gave you this idea? Why do you want to go so far? You are an only child, and dearly loved. The king, Odysseus, is gone, lost, far from home, and they will plot against you when you leave, scheming to murder you and share this wealth. Stay with us, we who love you. Do not go searching for danger out on restless seas. Telemachus decisively replied, Nanny, you need not worry. Gods have blessed this plan. But promise me you will not tell Mother until she notices me gone. Say nothing for 12 days, so she will not start crying. It would spoil her pretty skin." At that the old nurse swore a mighty oath by all the gods that she would keep the secret, and then she drew the wine for him in jars, and poured the barley groats in well-stitched bags. Telemachus returned to see the suitors. Meanwhile, bright-eyed Athena had a plan. Resembling Telemachus, she went all through the city, standing by each man, and urged them to assemble by the ship at night, and asked the son of Phronius, Noemon, for his speedy ship. He promised to give it gladly. Then the sun went down, and all the streets grew dark. The goddess dragged the ship into the water, and she loaded the necessary tackle for a journey. Right at the beach's farthest end, the goddess stood and assembled good strong men as crew. She coached each one. Then, eyes ablaze with plans, she went back to Odysseus's house, and poured sweet sleep upon the drunken suitors. She struck them, and their cups fell from their hands. Disguised as Mentor both in looks and voice, she called the boy out from the mighty hall, and looked intently in his face, and said, "Telemachus, your crew of armored men is ready at the oar for your departure. Come on, no time to waste, we must be gone." So speaking, Pallas quickly led the boy. He followed in the footsteps of the goddess. They went down to the seashore and the ship, and found the long-haired sailors on the beach. Inspired and confident, Telemachus called out, "My friends, come on, let us go fetch the rations. They are ready in the hall. But quietly, my mother does not know, nor do the other women, except one." And so he led them, and they followed him. They loaded everything upon the decks. Odysseus' son instructed them, and then embarked. Athena led the way. She sat down in the stern, and next to her Telemachus was sitting. Then the crew released the ropes and boarded, each at oar. Athena called a favorable wind, pure zephyr whistling on wine-dark sea. Telemachus commanded his companions to seize the rigging. So they did, and raised the pine-wood mast inside the rounded block, and bound it down with forestays round about, and raised the bright white sails with leather ropes. Wind blew the middle sail. The purple wave was splashing loudly round the moving keel. The goddess rode the waves and smoothed the way. The quick black ship held steady, so they fastened the tackle down and filled their cups with wine. They poured libations to the deathless gods, especially to the bright-eyed child of Zeus. All through the night, till dawn, the ship sailed on.